how to sell through Facebook. All right. I know a lot of people are having trouble with this, or I was talking to other people and they were not using Facebook at all to get clients. And that makes sense in some cases, but if your audience is on Facebook, it is really easy to capture their attention and to get them to get on a call with you, right? So the goal with this video is to teach you how I get people on calls, how I sold 10K worth of my services to people through Facebook last month, and how you can do it too, right? It's really easy. It's not complicated. I'm going to show you literally everything that I do within this video, okay? All right, so selling through Facebook. Now, let's just think about the channels that we use. So I know it might be a little hypocritical of me to say that I use Facebook to get customers. The only thing is people have different channels that they use, right? So for most of my customers, they are in the industrial space or like construction, roofing, solar, HVAC, that kind of stuff. So in those fields, people are usually out and about, like they're on a roof or they're on a job site, right? And they have their phone on them. And so they aren't on Facebook. They respond to text messages and calls, and it's easy to get their phone numbers and to call them or to text them or to email them. And so I use those channels for my customers to get attention from people. And so it's really easy to get attention for those type of people in that way. But for other industries like medical or law, it's harder to get those people attention through SMS or through emails, because most of the time those people have gatekeepers, right? So a law office has someone that's a gatekeeper that, if you try to call them, you're not talking to the attorney, you're just talking to the gatekeeper. And if you try to text them, it's a landline, so you can't text them. So that's the problem with that. So finding the channels that are best suited for your industry is the way you want to go. So if you've ever watched the movie Shark Tale, there was a scene where there's a fish that has a sushi shop in the bottom of the ocean. Obviously, having a sushi shop is not the ideal situation for you if you are in the bottom of the ocean, right? You want to go to where people's eyes are. So that's the idea here, right? Go to where people's eyes are. So what are we going to cover in this video? We're going to cover a few things. Your offer, what exactly you're selling, where to find the people on Facebook, what to do once you've found them, what to message them, and then also how many messages you should be sending, and then a bonus of where to find hungry buyers, okay? So that is what we're going to cover. Here we go. The first thing is your offer. Now, this is really short and sweet. It just says read $100 million offer. I want to explain something to you really quick. We have these two asymmetrical decisions or asymmetrical actions, right? An asymmetrical decision is basically you put in a little bit of work and you got a lot out of it, or you made a decision really quickly and you got nothing out of it. You actually you lost a lot, right? So if you aren't putting a lot of work and effort or research into what exactly your niche wants or what exactly they need, you're gonna have this. You're gonna have a little effort and then a long-term downward growth, right? So no one's going to want to buy what you have to offer if no one actually wants it, right? So one time I tried to sell social media management for software companies. I didn't ask any software company. I didn't know exactly what they wanted. That's what I went out and I said, hey, I can do this for you. No one responded. I wasted a ton of time trying to sell something that nobody wanted. This is that problem, right? I made a decision quickly. I didn't put any thought or effort into it, or I didn't think about the outcome or what people actually wanted in the niche. I just said, hey, this is what I want to do. And then no one cared. So that was the result of that, right? A lot of wasted time and energy. The inverse is, hey, this niche really needs this specific thing. How do I help them? And I figured out how to help them, and then exponential growth here, because we know exactly how to get these people results. We know they want this really badly, and so it's really easy to sell it, even if you have a bad offer, right? If they still want this thing really badly, it's easy to sell. For example, in the book, $100 million offer, he says that if you have a hot dog stand in the middle of a crowd of hungry people, you're the only hot dog stand or the only food around, then it's really easy to sell a ton of hot dogs. Even if you have the worst hot dogs on the planet, it's really easy to sell a lot of hot dogs. First thing, have a good offer to people that actually need it. So the next thing is where to find these people. So we have to figure out who the target is first. So even if it's everyone, it cannot be everyone, right? So what this means is I have a customer who they do business automation for the leads that are coming in. So if you have leads coming in, they can automate those leads and turn them into booked appointments or sales for you. Almost any business can use this, any business that's buying leads, but we have to focus on someone specific because we have to speak directly to them. So we decided on HVAC companies. So we just started reaching out to HVAC companies, made a direct message to them specifically, and we started getting results, started getting calls coming in. So it's working pretty well, but we can't just say, hey, we help all companies do all these things. For an example, in the book, $100 million offer, he gives this example that if you have Oh, great. There's the alarm. All right. So if you have a day planner and you try to sell it for $20, and that you could sell that day planner for $20, but if you said this is a day planner for women entrepreneurs, then it's a lot easier to sell to women entrepreneurs, and you can sell it for $50, right? Because it's more valuable because it's directly to them. Now, what if you said it is for women entrepreneurs or women agency owners, marketing agency owners? That is a lot more specific. So let's sell that same thing for $100 because it speaks directly to them. If you've ever seen this fake ad, it was it was for free real estate, right? And they were speaking directly to one specific person.
The following advertisement is intended for Jim Booney only.
It's free. Real estate.
We're giving you land.
It's free.
We're giving you a house.
It's real estate. Free.
It's a free house for you, Jim.
Think of it like that. We want to speak as direct as we can to one person, giving them exactly what they want. The more specific you are, the better. Then we just find groups of people in your niche. So let's just say, for an example, you're in the recruiting niche, right? So let's just do recruiting. So we found recruiting companies or groups, and jobs for recruiters, recruiting, training for recruiting, and a network for recruiting, staffing firms, search firms. So you just join the groups. It's that easy, right? So this whole process is not very complicated at all. And then find the objective of each group. So each group usually has an objective or an agenda. We just have to find that agenda. So some groups it is to sell something. So for this group specifically, these guys are just trying to sell, I think they're just trying to sell coaching or something for marketing agencies. They're like, hey, we can help you scale to 7 figures, blah, blah, blah. There's one also by Joel Kaplan. I forget what that one's called, but he also has like the same thing of, hey, we help you scale to the moon. So the reason you want to find the agenda of the group is because if you try to go in there and try to sell something, or you say something a certain way and it is contradictory to their agenda, right? If I'm trying to sell the same thing as you're selling in your group, they're just going to kick you out of the group, right? So we just want to know exactly what they're trying to do in those groups. Now what? So now that we found people, what do we do? Well, we just got to connect with people and provide value. Now, I know this sounds hard, but it is not as hard as it sounds. Like when I was starting out, people would say, hey, you just have to bring value. I thought it was going to be like such a long-term play, like it was going to take years to get any results. And that's what people were saying, like it's just going to take years and you have to put all this effort into it and maybe you'll get something out of it, right? That is a hard sell. It's hard to do that. It's hard to think of that. It's hard to start doing anything if you know it's going to take so long to get the result out. But I will tell you, the first sale I got was one message, right? The first sale I got recently for my recent company was one post, right? I put one post out there. It was a direct post. Just said, hey, does anyone need help with this thing? And I got my first customer with that one post. Okay, so it is not as long term as it sounds, but we just want to connect with people and provide value. How do we do that? So we'll cover two things: posting and messaging. So first, posting. Avoid getting kicked like I did. So straight to the point posts work really well, but admins don't like it, and you just want to check per group. So what this means is straight to the point post like, hey, does anyone need help getting solar installs? That probably would work really well. Or does anyone need help with lead generation? That probably would work really well. But depending on the agenda of the group, they would probably kick you out for a post like that because they know that you're just trying to sell something. Even in groups that are just for connecting purposes, like, hey, we're just solar buddies trying to connect with each other, they will still probably try to kick you out because they don't want anyone invading on their solar connection group. So straight to the point posts work really well, but they are hard to manage, or they're hard to get through to the group leader. So there are some groups that they don't really manage it. They don't really check each post. So in some groups you can get away with it, even if the rules say otherwise. Like the rules will say no promotion, but I see other people promoting in that group, and then I promote myself, and then I don't get kicked. So I just say, okay, cool. Yeah. So in certain groups it works, and others it doesn't. So just to try to avoid getting kicked. All right. Post straight value through value posting. So think of your favorite content creator in the business realm, right? They just post a lot of value to you. They're not always trying to sell you something. They're just posting a lot of value. So one of my favorite content creators is Sam Ovens on YouTube. He has all these great videos, and I was watching him a couple years ago when I just started this whole business journey, and I had no clue that he was selling anything. Like I just thought he was just posting really high quality videos that had amazing content, and it just made so much sense. And in each video, he wasn't like selling something at the end of each video. He wasn't trying to have an agenda for each video, but he was just providing so much value. So if you think of your favorite content creator, try to be like them. Just provide value. Don't try to sell everything every single time, and just be there for people. I don't know, post value, right? That's the goal. Right, people will trust you a lot more if you're just posting as much value as possible. Like this, I could be selling this for $10,000 or whatever, but because I used this exact method to make $10,000 last month, and I could probably I didn't even use it to its fullest capacity, so I could use this exact system and make $1 million a year. But I just want to give it to you for free. All right. The next post that you can do is asking questions related to your offer. So, for an example, if you're in the solar niche and you want to ask. You can ask a question like, hey, has anyone ever used Home Advisor? How did it work for you? And people in the comments will be like, I hated it. It sucked. I don't like Home Advisor. And you can just target those people directly and say, hey, I saw that you used Home Advisor. You didn't like it. Have you ever tried Facebook ads? And that's a pretty good question you can ask related to your niche because you're providing Facebook ads for solar companies or whatever. But don't try to be salesy. So there are some groups, I will try to show you an example. There are some groups that will say something like, hey, we just created this thing. Let me know if you're interested. Comment below. Now, those work really well. Like I've done those before, but then the admins got mad at me. So we will try to find one specific example here. This post right here. Just created an SOP for how we get organically a group 15 to 20 high quality members every day. Who wants in, right? And so people commented SOP, right? 563 comments. This works really well, but this guy is a group admin. He owns the group. So we can't really compete with him. And if I try to post something like that, they would kick me immediately out of the group because that is, we're just competing with their offer and we're trying to sell something that they're also trying to sell. So they would just kick me out of the group because they own it, right? So don't try to be salesy like that because that usually doesn't work. But the next best thing you can do is a quick success post. So you can post a success post related to what you do. So I know a lot of people will post like these long drawn out posts that say, I was this, now I'm this, this is where I was, this is how things were, and now I was able to blah, 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 blah. Those work. Those are, I don't really know how those work. I don't really know if people get leads from that because they're really just telling a story. I do that sometimes, but I'm not really trying to get anything out of it. I'm just, posting value, right? I don't have an agenda with those. But with this, I'm talking about just saying something like, okay, yesterday for me, I got 28 calls from my clients, right? I booked 28 calls overall for my clients. And so I could say something like, hey, we booked 28 calls today. Let's go. An example that I saw in a group, someone was saying, hey, I just got my first customer through LinkedIn. This is awesome. The stuff in the book really works. And it was a group about a certain book. And people in the comments were like, how are you doing this? What's your LinkedIn outreach strategy? Can you help me with this? And so that is prime real estate for you to go in and you to reply to those messages saying, hey, yeah, this is the strategy. If you want help, I can help you out. It costs $1,500 a month. So you can use a strategy like that, like just consistently posting success, saying, hey, this is what we did. This is what we did. This is what we did. And people look at that and they say, wow, this is great. Can you help me with this? And some people will just want help for free, which is kind of annoying. But other people are willing to pay, right? They're willing to give you whatever they need because they want the result that you're getting. And they see exactly that you're getting the result. Like they see the proof because you're showing it, right? And it's really good because people don't see it as a sales post. They just see it as, hey, this guy's getting his success, cool. Because that person specifically said, hey, the stuff in the book really works. And so they're basically promoting that book, right? So those posts work really well too. All right, the next thing is connecting with people. So the next thing you want to do is connect with people. I just said that. I've been talking a lot. But how you do this is just go to people in comments. So you go to the members in the group that has your specific niche. And then we go to we have friends, and then we have things in common. So these are people that have things in common with me, which means that they just have mutual friends. And it's a lot easier to connect with these people because they see that you're connected with the same type of people. So you just add these people as friends. So this is where you would go to start connecting with people. All right. Now, in terms of what to message these people, there are two schools of thought, right? Two schools of thought with the messaging. There is relationship building, which is beating around the bush. And there is direct messaging, and this is what I use every day. So I'll give you two examples. Relationship building. Hey, hope you're having a great week. Hey, thanks for connecting. How's business? or a direct message. Do you need help with this? Or I can bring you your desired result if you're interested. Let me know if you're free for a call this week. So with this type of message alone, we booked 20, 18, 28, 10 calls so far today. 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, like almost 80 calls over the last 5 days, right? 1 to 4 days, right? 80 calls within the last 5 days using this framework, right? I can help you get desired result if you're interested. When are you free for a call this week? All right. So that is just, this is what I use every day. And this is what works for me. I also use this a lot too. I do need help with this thing. And I'll tell you exactly why I use that. Okay. So we'll talk about my first sale. My first sale was I just posted in a group saying, hey, I just need help with this thing. If anyone can help. I wasn't really trying to sell anything. And then I built a relationship with this guy. He was just helping me out, like just answering some of my questions. And I had done in the past, like Instagram marketing. So I've done that before. And so this relationship that I built with this guy, I looked at his Instagram, I looked at his company's Instagram, and they were doing really poorly. Like he had no thought that he put into the Instagram posts. So I just went to him and I said, are you wanting to grow your audience on Insta? And then he said yes. And then that led into a call where we got together, we just talked about it. And then it led to eventually a $3,000 a month contract. And I helped him with a lot of other things like Facebook ads and all that stuff. And we were able to grow his company from like $40,000 a month to $100,000 a month. And so that was really cool. But it all started with that question, right? Are you wanting to grow your audience through Instagram? It really is that easy, right? Just saying something specific, but they have to want that thing, right? They have to actually be aware of, hey, this is something that I want, or like I need this thing, right? So he was aware that like, hey, we know this Instagram thing is failing. We know we could be doing better. Our audience is younger, so we need to target them specifically through Instagram. So yeah, anyways, that's my first sale. This is the results that I have in terms of beating around the bush versus having a direct question about my offer. Okay, so obviously I do not have a lot of messages that I sent out overall. So we have 46 messages, 115 messages. You could be sending a ton more messages over the course of a month, but this is just the data that I have. Okay, so we have 10 replies versus 25 replies. We have 4 positive responses versus 11 responses. Okay, the response rate is the exact same, but the positive response rate is a little bit higher for the direct question about my offer. Now, for the positive response rate, for the beating around the bush, I was asking questions like, hey, do you do Facebook ads or Google ads as well? So if someone responds positively to that message, they could just be saying, yeah, I do Facebook ads. What's up? That doesn't mean it doesn't mean they're responding positively to my offer. So in that scenario, it's hard to quantify, or it's hard to put into numbers exactly how many people are actually interested in my offer when you're beating around the bush, because it's like, what are they actually saying yes to? So that's the problem with beating around the bush. Okay, so how many messages can you send per day? You can send 50 messages a day and then 10 per hour. Now, if you're not very active on Facebook, then I would start smaller, like 20 messages a day. But you just build up to 25, 30, 40, and then 50. Okay, so 50 messages a day, 10 messages per hour. That's the limit that they'll give you. Okay, so send a friend request, and then after you send the friend request, just put in a message saying, hey, I just wanted to know if you're interested in blah, blah, blah. Or I can help you get desired result without this pain. Are you free for a call this week? All right, so that's basically it, right? It's that simple. And then the bonus, right? How do we find hungry buyers? So this is the last piece that I'll give you. And this one is actually really cool. All right, so here's a good example. So we have these people that are saying, hey, this is blah, 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 blah. I just wanted to, this is everything that we're selling. Comment 7 figures in this post. Comment 7 figures below if you want our free mini course, right? So let's just say they're helping agency owners get to 7 figures. I think that's what they do, right? Agency hypergrowth. So if your target market is agency owners that are looking to grow and you're wanting to coach them, then guess where you would find the best, hungriest buyers? You would find them right here, right? These people are obviously interested in growing their agency. So you just reach out to these people and say, hey, I just wanted to know if you need help growing your agency, because a lot of the times they have a hard time keeping up with all these messages, right? So there is a ton of messages in here, and it says, check your messages. Love it. Just sent you a PM, right? We have all these people, they sent messages to a lot of these people, but a lot of these people they did not send messages to yet. So you can send messages to these people, or even these people, they didn't like their offer, right? Their offer was too expensive, or didn't have what they had or what they needed. It didn't have all the benefits that they were looking for, and maybe your product does. So you can message them directly, and you can just say, hey, I just wanted to know if you needed help with this thing, or you can find people that really actually want what you have to offer, and they're literally going out saying, hey, I want this thing. So that is your little special hack on how you can find people that are desperately in need with what you have to offer. One last thing that I want to mention is if you are sending 50 messages a day, the booked appointment rate, this just depends on the offer, but my booked appointment rate is 4%. So for every 100 messages I'm sending, I'm getting 4% of people on the phone, so 4 people on the phone. That means if you're sending 50 messages a day, you should be getting 2 calls booked every single day. And right now for me, I've got a 30% closing rate, so that means you should be closing 1 person every other day. If you have a good offer, that is, right? If you have something that's working and you know how to sell. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this helped you. You can easily make $10,000 through this method, all right, this month if you wanted to, if you had a good enough offer. I'm going to go to church now, so thank you so much for watching. And my throat hurts, and I'll see you in the next video.